Tubi movies!
I'm Brian, I like Tubi movies!
I despise Tubi movies, and this is the Hallmark Podcast!
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
You can get that coffee.
And friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Deck the Hallmark. It's great to be back here today. Heading over into the world of Tubi.
Sure are.
Back into the world of Tubi.
Yeah.
T-U-B-I.
After that underground earthquake,
Earthquake Underground.
I
Put some
feel
respect
like,
on that name.
No, I was just talking about the earthquake that happened underground.
Sure.
I was talking
That
about
one?
after
Not the movie.
that earthquake underground, or underground earthquake.
What have you?
You know, I didn't
Anywho.
think we'd be back, but here we are. We made it. We
That's
survived.
right. We sure have.
Yeah.
We sure have, and it's great to be back. We're talking Hustlers Take All in just a few moments. Guys, it's fall, as everybody knows, and what better way to celebrate fall than by getting Philo. Philo.tv/DTH. You can do that today. Not only are you going to be able to watch all the Hallmark movies that we talk about and all that good stuff, the Philo Deep Dive, the Christmas season is quickly approaching. It's hard to believe. It's
We've already
quickly
had our first
approaching.
fall beverage.
That's right.
We're
Pretty
there.
much
We're
here.
there.
That's right. Christmas movies are going to be here in just 2 months. And what better place to watch all those than on Philo because of the unlimited DVR. So if you can't watch it while it's live, you can catch it on the DVR. And they got that one button ad skip. It's phenomenal. So what better way to get ahead of it? Just you can get used to it. You can enjoy it throughout the next couple months.
Deep dive.
That's right.
Lots of reasons to have fun.
That's right, and we're heading into preview season. Everybody, there's going to be a lot of
Sure
preview
are.
episodes coming your way over the next couple months, and so
Seasonal previews,
That's
if
right.
you will.
Guys. I think we're a month out from schedule drop. It's
Yeah.
It's
It
hard,
is.
like,
You know what? I
Mid-September?
got to be honest.
Mid-September,
After
yeah.
hearing how up they are on stuff this year, I would not be surprised if we get the schedule earlier than late September.
don't tease me with a good time.
I mean,
because then we could start preview shows earlier and do more
Yeah.
of them.
If-
Do less
yeah,
movies.
Not do 7 per show.
I mean, I gotta
episode.
be
we
honest.
start right after the schedule
I'm
comes
to
out.
the point where a Tubi movie and a preview show is kind of a toss-up.
Oh, man. How dare you?
Preview shows are awesome, and you know
They
it.
sure
and your
are.
We
heart
do
of
get a
hearts.
They're the
lot
bread
of-
and butter of this company,
This is what keeping us afloat is the preview episode.
of this little economy we
this
have
little
here.
economy, this little world we call Deck the Hallmark.
That's right. I listen. I'm so excited about this holiday season. I think it's going to be the best one yet.
Man, after last year,
I'm on board with that.
Last year was the best one yet.
Yeah,
It was?
but there's so
Yes.
much.
Yes.
And not to mention, we got Hallmark Plus coming on the scene.
That's right.
Sure
We,
do.
we got the first Hallmark Christmas show that's coming on the scene.
Holidays.
I don't know. How are we going to do it all? I don't
We're
know.
not.
I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and just make my guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
let's
do that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make my guess right now.
What better time to do it than with the Tubi
The
movie?
Tubi episode. This is.
Get your calendars
It's
out.
going to be a Thursday. I'm going to go.
Why a Thursday?
I'm just guessing. What?
Why? Defend yourself. What a
I think it's
stupid
going to
thing
be
to
a
say,
Thursday.
Dan.
I think it's going to be September 12th.
Oh, you're way off.
September 12th. About basically exactly a month from today.
So the last couple of years, they've done it like a month out
Yep.
from when the
Which
when
would
the first one
be
is.
more like the 19th-ish.
Yeah. So
I'm
you're
going
saying
the 12th.
Oh boy, this is tough.
I'm
have a
gonna
guess?
go. I'm gonna go with let's start the work week off strong.
Oh yeah.
September 16th.
If it's a Monday, that's going to be a day.
September
for us. Oh, my
16th. They're gonna go with
goodness.
a Monday. September 16th.
Man,
How about that?
I was gonna say it's got to be a Wednesday, but I don't. September 11th doesn't feel right. For some reason, it's just the odd number and all. I'm gonna say September 10th is when the schedule's gonna drop, which is against everything in my gut. That says
being a
September
Tuesday?
11th, but I don't think it'll be
You're going with Tuesday
the
10th.
10th.
Tuesday. Tuesday.
Aaron, do you want to put a guess out there?
You can just say
Aaron,
no
you just say no.
when the schedule drops.
Were you writing days and you didn't know what we were guessing? You were just writing down the
You're
days.
just writing and not knowing what it's about.
Yeah, I was just here. I was like, oh, they're saying
So
this.
what does
saying
it say?
date.
What does it say? Dan on that date and my name on that other date?
It says Brandon's guess, Dan's guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Could be anything.
Oh
great.
boy.
Could be anything.
On the 10th, Aaron comes in. Brian, did
Yeah,
anything
you-
happen today? No?
you guessed something?
Okay.
When did you say in the past couple years it had come out?
Like the month to the day ahead of time. Yeah. 1 month to the day.
18th is a really solid guess that's still out there.
Yeah, sure is.
Let's just
It's
let
all
the
right.
silence.
It's just we're
Yeah, you can
podcasting.
We'll let
think
the
of it.
silence.
I'm going to say Thursday the 19th.
Thursday the 19th.
Thursday the
Okay,
19th. That's
lock
a
'em
good
in.
guess. It's a
Lock
solid
in.
guess.
Put Aaron's
Really
guess there.
solid
We'll
guess.
figure out what
Aaron's
that means later.
Yep, don't worry about
It's a
that now.
really
right.
solid guess. A really solid guess.
Like, guys, I don't know what's happening today, but it says Dan.
Something.
It's Dan's guess.
That's why we're here.
Does anybody want to get bold and say August? Anybody want to get bold?
Man,
Can you imagine the last day of August they drop
that
the
would
schedule?
be wild.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I hope it's not a Thursday in September. There's a chance we'll be in Columbia.
I've been listening
yeah.
to a good bit of Christmas music lately, so yeah,
Yeah.
look at me go.
Dude, I had
Look at
Christmas
me
music
go.
on all weekend.
It was nice.
Yes,
it was
I'm
nice.
so excited
Yep.
about just it feels like it's so close. Once you get once Bramblefest comes to an end and August starts,
in fall. You're in fall real fast,
and you're in fall,
Yep.
and it just begins to feel like it's just here. Like
Yeah, man.
why is August and September even a thing? Let's just get to
Let's go.
October. Let's
Yeah.
do this. I'm ready for it. Let's talk about Hustlers Take All.
Cool, everybody.
Let's do it.
Hustlers Take All.
Do they take some or they take all?
They took all.
Okay.
They take all.
Are they hustlers? They take all.
Originally aired on Tubi on August 10th, 2024, and a little something like this. The movie kicks off in the
Hey,
middle.
Brian.
Yes,
Hey,
Rippy?
Brian. Yeah, it's Rippy.
What's
Who else
up?
would it be with my straw hat and corncob pipe?
In my defense, I didn't see you.
I got
I
a
didn't
whole
see
plate
you.
of ribs over here.
You're-
How
that
can you
didn't
miss
give
me?
it away.
You're in the
can't see
adjacent
me.
booth.
You can't see me because you're not looking for me.
Oh, boy.
You're a jackwagon.
Okay.
No.
You're a jackwagon.
Oh, no, not again.
You're a no-looking jackwagon.
Why would I be looking in the
I've been
adjacent
here
booth?
the whole time.
You have not.
Been here the whole
Just
time.
sort of blend into the scenery now.
Hey, Brad.
Yes, your hat looks great.
Thank you for noticing, you no-looking jackwagon.
Okay, well, you can't. What do you need?
Well, you remember you covered a little movie called Finding Santa? You remember that?
Yeah, I
Last
do.
month
Yes.
with America's Sweetheart Jodie Sweet.
Oh, no,
He's right
yeah.
about that.
You know what year that movie was in?
2017?
Yeah. Do you know who owns that year?
You do?
I sure do.
Why are you?
Did you call me? You no-looking jackwagon.
We've never
Jackwagon.
called you.
Did you call?
always-
You call me every time.
I've
You
never
do.
called
you.
you.
Leave me a message. It usually ends with you spitting in the phone.
No,
You saw
I've
so many
never
phones
called
on
You
there.
you.
do. For
I've
somebody
never
that,
called
for somebody
you.
that spit on me on the way in this morning, it's weird you didn't see me with my hat
What
and
a
pot.
jackrabbit. Or whatever.
Jackwagon.
Jack Wagon.
You jackwagon.
I can't hear him.
I'm
Brian,
sorry
Brian,
that I.
Brian,
Rippy,
did you cover Finding Santa?
we covered it.
Whose year was that?
It was
You say
2017.
it.
We've already talked
Say
about it.
it.
2017. Yes, it's
Whose
your
year
year.
is it?
Jackrabbit.
It's your year.
I'm calling dibs and eating ribs. That's my whole
That's a
thing.
hashtag.
I understand. I've never
What are you
called
going to
you.
do to
before.
make it up for me?
Do you want Hustlers Take All?
No, I want you to float me a nap.
All right. Do we have
This
any
is
over
gonna
there,
get-
Aaron?
This
Aaron?
is going to
Have a
get
nap?
embarrassing for him.
Do you have
don't
any
have a
naps?
nap.
We don't have any
Jackwagon.
naps.
Of course you don't have a nap.
We have a lot of naps.
because you're a no-looking jackwagon.
We have a lot of naps.
Don't you help him out, Aaron Shea.
Hey, listen! Don't
No.
talk to her.
No.
You're not. You're a
Aaron-
guest here.
Aaron Shea's also a national treasure. It's you that's the problem, you no-looking jackwagon. If you wanted to, you could throw me a nap.
Okay. Thanks.
Those naps came by proxy.
Proxy
Those
nap.
are some proxy naps.
Do you want the nap?
Those aren't any naps. Those are proxy naps.
Do you want the nap or not?
I want you to be better at your job.
Do you want the nap or not?
Join the team.
How many other people do you know with the bolo tie and this hat and a corncob pipe?
And
None.
no ribs.
How did you miss me?
What a jagwagon.
I always corrected you. The
2017. Finding Santa aired on 2017.
We're
I'm
talking
out.
Hustlers Take All. Why are you here today?
Just to remind you.
Does he have a
Okay.
guess? I wonder if he has a guess for the calendar.
Oh, Rippy, do you have a guess for when Hallmark's going to put out their schedules?
September, float me a nap.
That's not a date.
not even-
Is that 4th?
I'm out here.
Yeah, please.
I'm
You're not going to give a date?
You awful.
Yep, no looking.
I've never called
Jack.
you, and I do want it on the wagon, like the
Jack.
wagon.
Get on the wagon.
I want it on the wagon. I never have called you. The movie kicks off
Man,
with.
didn't see that coming.
He's fired up.
He was.
He was.
He
Have
wasn't
you
here the
guys
whole
called
time.
him?
No, the whole. But he was here the whole time, Bran. I just thought you'd already talked.
No,
to
he's
him.
he's over there in the booth. There's glass separating. There's a weird
You
glare.
can see through glass,
There
right?
is
No, there's a
glare,
weird
yeah.
glare.
I don't know.
Weird glare.
It's a
Hard
weird
to
glare.
miss him.
All I'm saying is, have any of you
Bolo
ever
tie straw hat corn cob
have
pie.
any
That's a
of you
combo.
ever
Pile of
called
rips.
him to tell him the date?
No, he says you call him.
You know
That's what
I
he
don't.
says. I don't know. I don't know what you do in your spare time.
You literally
over there
do.
at Warren.
You know.
You think
You
the
know.
music's gonna loop here or not?
Huh?
You think the music's gonna loop here?
All I'm saying, I got 5 minutes left. I'm feeling good. All I'm saying, Dan, is there's only one person that knows what I do in my spare time more than you do, and it's my wife.
That's true. That's true. Fair. But
You
I mean,
know-
I don't know who you're calling. I don't know when
true.
you're scheduling Tubi movies. I don't know. I don't keep
Yeah.
track of this.
You do know. You choose not to know.
That's you're not offering it up.
It's
a
in our
dictator.
shared drive. What do you mean I'm not offering it up?
Yeah, you know how I feel about sure.
Classic dictator behavior.
Yeah, classic dictator behavior.
I would.
He is a jackwagon.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like-
I'm not gonna. Okay. You
nailed
know
that.
what? I'm
He's
not
a-
gonna do the schedule
he's-
next month.
he's no-
You guys can do whatever you want
He's a
to.
no-looking
We-
jackwagon.
yeah, he
You
is.
guys get
He's not even
together.
gonna look at the schedule. You hear that?
You guys get
he's not even
together.
gonna do his job. It's
No,
unbelievable.
I'm saying I don't care.
We get next
I don't
month
care.
off.
I'm just saying somebody
No new
somebody
shows.
has to fill out the
he's
schedule. I
a
fill out the schedule.
no-looking jackwagon.
I'd love for you guys to fill it out.
No schedule
Nothing would make
filling
me
looking
happy.
jackwagon.
Nothing would make me happier than you guys.
Are the Hustlers going to take all, Brain?
Let's find out. The movie kicks off in the middle of quite the argument between this bad guy in a tracksuit and this woman who I guess owes him a bunch of money. He's real mad, cuts off one of her fingers, cuts to this woman named Nina, who is known as the Brains. Okay, so what happens here is when they introduce
Oh, boy.
characters, they
Yeah.
put their name and then what they are, like Nina, the Brains. I thought that it was going to matter. It doesn't.
We all
It
did.
doesn't. And she's being arrested for insider trading. Fast forward to Nina being released. She goes to visit her mom in the hospital, and on her way out, she finds out that she owes a ton of money for hospital bills. And if she doesn't pay, her mom is going to be kicked out of the hospital. Take that to the news or something. She is sitting in her car when the woman from the beginning shows up in snakeskin boots. She's serious. Her name's Priscilla. She's a hustler that I presume takes all. Nina doesn't seem to want anything to do with her, but she goes to visit her at her bar/underground casino. She agrees to basically help her run this underground casino, make it more lucrative so that she can afford the hospital situation and make it a new awesome place in town. Before the opening, she goes to pay her mom a visit in the hospital. Priscilla is there, and that makes Nina really mad because, Brian...
Because she lied. She's a lying liar.
She lied. That's right.
That's a good
About
Visiting?
visiting.
Yeah.
Closing time?
I think that's right. So it's time for opening night, and everybody is there, including Angelo, the guy from the beginning that cuts off fingers. And guess what he does while he's there? Cuts off fingers, the senator's finger to be exact. While Nina and Priscilla work on helping the senator in his finger situation, somebody wins a $100,000 slot payout. It's opening night. That's tough. They don't have that money. So they stage a poker game to make sure that they don't lose everything on the very first night. So basically, what you need to know is that there is a mysterious banker, much like the banker in Deal or No Deal. No one knows who this banker is. And Priscilla and every other big wig in town owes the banker money, and the banker has something on them, but no one knows who the banker is. That's why Angelo cut off her finger at the beginning of the movie. But when Nina sees Angelo, she realizes that he's the one that killed her dad and is responsible for her mom's downfall. She's dead too now, by the way, FYI. So
peace.
I guess
Obviously.
two deaths don't make a right. And but
Two deaths don't make a right.
so she kills him with a baseball bat and some sort of
Peanut butter jelly.
sting-related opportunity. I don't know. So there's another underground casino in town that is run by this guy named Luis and his wife or mom. I'm not.
Talia, his wife,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Talia.
Yes. Yeah.
And he shows up dead by the banker.
Oh.
And
Who's the
it's like,
banker?
We don't know yet.
Oh, my
So we
goodness.
still don't know.
It's definitely a man, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. it
So
would be a
they're like,
man.
whoa, man, we owe the banker a ton of money, but so does everybody else in town. So they set up a big poker tournament to try to get the money. But I guess it was all a ruse.
Yes.
And Nina tries to convince everybody to just stand up to the banker. If we all stand up, they can't kill us all, which, I mean, track record shows they absolutely can kill us all, but it doesn't matter.
Kill us all. Yes.
And that is when Talia stands up and is like, I'm the banker now. She's the banker. And
Banquettes.
so Nina is like, hey, I challenge you to a winner-takes-all poker match.
One
And
hand.
One hand.
Not a full match.
One
hand
hand.
of poker.
And so they sit down, they're getting ready to do that, but it turns out that that's all a sting. The FBI shows up and takes her and all of the other people. They arrest them, except for Nina and Priscilla. They're good.
Yeah.
They're
hands
good.
I guess because they
Scot-free.
called it in. I don't really know.
Sure.
And I think the moral of the story is that hustlers take
Take
all.
Oh, we did
Sure
it.
did.
No looking jackwagon.
I've never called him. And so it was weird that he would show up a month late and complain about
He
that.
clearly feels like he's been wrong.
Someone's calling on my behalf then. It wasn't me. Could have been Trace back when she had a job.
Hippie.
Wasn't me. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about Hustlers Take All here on Take the Hallmark. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about Hustlers Take All from Tubi. We're going to start with a hot take.
Should we?
It's
Yeah.
where we share our thoughts on this movie and whether or not we're happy that the Hustlers took all. Brian, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Yep. I didn't really like it, Bran.
Okay.
If I gotta be
What?
honest with you,
Brian, come on.
I know. I
Search
don't
your
like
heart
to,
again.
Yeah. I feel bad too because kudos to them for getting it made. Like, genuinely very cool that they made a movie. It's on a platform where they can tell people to go check it out. That's really cool. Hashtag jelly. I like good casino movies. Like, you know, you okay over there?
Yeah.
Don't be jelly. I like good casino movies, like the movie Casino, if you will.
Casino
Other
is a great
gambling
movie.
movies, you know, like there's some really great gambling movies.
Like?
And Casino.
What? Aside from
Goodfellas, a
Casino
little
less
bit.
about the gambling, more
21,
about the mob.
the Oceans movies.
21,
those are
Ocean's,
fun.
yes.
Like
Okay.
gambling
Casino
movies.
Royale.
Nope, also
well,
not
that's,
really about
yeah,
the
that's
casino.
not
Oh,
really.
Interesting. It's in the title. I just thought for sure. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It was wild.
You've never
guess.
seen Casino Royale?
No.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We could have watched that.
Could have next week.
I think it's a great idea. We just need to do it.
Rounders, Matt Damon.
Yeah, Rounders a fun movie with Ed Norton. Oh,
Yeah,
No, we
man,
definitely
fun,
because
man.
we
Watch that
talk.
again.
We can talk about it off air.
Go ahead, Rye. Keep going.
I like the idea though.
You jelly?
Yeah, a little jelly that I didn't get to. I could have watched a different movie. So it was just whatever. Good for them. I didn't feel like I had a sense of time, and maybe they were trying to do that on purpose because you're in a casino, you don't know what time it is, you have no sense of how time is passing. But I just couldn't. They kept like walking outside and it's light out, and then maybe days went by, or maybe they didn't, and different things were happening, and I was just like, what is happening with this? So it just didn't really feel like they developed. They jumped into it. Clearly, it's like a strategy or a move they decided to make where they're just throwing you into this, and you just have to catch up with like who they are and what their past is, and it just didn't like land for me. So. Should we be at a high stakes poker game? I guess is the takeaway.
Yeah.
Should we have a high
Yeah.
stakes? It seems like some serious cash could flow in, and that's all you have to do.
Just
But
hire a ringer, set it all up.
that's right.
No way we lose money.
No,
There's no way.
House
We
always
can't.
wins. So yeah,
There was a time a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I'll sit up.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
was a
Get in frame
time
there.
a couple months ago that Dan and I spent some time in a casino, and there was a night, a glorious night,
Oh man.
where Dan and I.
Can I tell you this? In our head, in my head, we're both in like tailor-made suits in this scene.
Yeah.
We're not, but in my head we are. Go ahead.
I'm
back to you.
ordering daiquiris like nuts. Like keep them coming. This is crazy. We made out like jackwagons. Like so, we made so much money that night, and I'm like I'm looking at Dan. I'm like, Dan, should we sell it all? Should we sell the business?
He literally
and like this
said,
is
we got a system. If
we have a
sell the
system, and the
business,
system
we
works.
could make more money doing this than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yes.
And the system made a lot of sense. And I see
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
the allure of that high man, we did it. Let's sell it all and let's just go big.
Yeah.
Was appealing. And this movie's not appealing. It is a really, really tough watch, and it's an hour and 44 minutes. And that I didn't know that. I should have.
Yeah.
That was
They
the
didn't
knife, put that. Well, they don't
twisting of
put
the
that
knife.
in
Yeah.
when they put out the list of movies coming out. They don't put how long they are, and that's on me.
should.
I assumed it was
Normal
right in
time,
line with all the others. It wasn't, and so that's what it is. I am mad that there were so many characters that just didn't really matter, but I also still somehow wish that I had more information about them to make me care.
Yeah.
And like the reason why I picked the movie, Brian, is like the synopsis was appealing. Like this group of women start an underground casino and things get hairy. Like it's an interesting plot.
Sure.
Thought it could be cool, but the movie's too long for its own good, and almost 90% of that is just explanation of what's happening, and that's the same reason why last week I talked about having a tougher time with, like, I don't get as excited about the mysteries because a lot of the time it's just explaining the things, and I have it's like I can only pay attention for so long.
It's out of your hands.
So unfortunate, but I'd love to go and win some more. We lost the money, by the way. We lost all the money.
Well, you didn't have to tell the second. You just can
We're
tell
still
the
doing
one-night story.
God, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
It tells you everything
We're
you need to
still
know.
doing this, and we're having a great time.
That's right.
All I'm saying is there's nothing quite like the high of winning.
Oh, man.
Of winning to
It's
make
almost
you
like
go.
it's addictive.
To make you go, should we sell it all?
Yeah.
Should we sell the whole business?
It's almost like it's set up to be addicting.
They wouldn't
Do it
they
for
wouldn't
one.
do
We
that.
do it for 1 year, and then we're
give it a
good.
shot.
Good.
And then we're good.
Why isn't everybody doing
There's still
it?
a part of me
it's
that
not
thinks that we
easy.
should.
Oh,
There's
these
still a
casinos
part
not
of
out of
me.
business.
There's a part of me, and I know it's there with you too, Dan.
It is.
That if we had enough money,
Yes.
we could absolutely make it work.
can't lose.
There's a number I think that there's no way we can lose with.
Can't
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
What's that number?
I think it's $3,076.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. Times 2 if we want to do red and black at the same time. It's not important.
Dan?
They comp you a
yeah,
room.
as much as we've been giving Brand a hard time, reschedule. What he did say there about the synopsis or the plot of this movie, and you know, sometimes that's all you get. And if Brand didn't know the time on this movie and you just read the synopsis and you knew that the previous Tubi movie was Earthquake Underground.
Both, and then we did the influencer movie too, and
That's
that was normal length as well.
But Earthquake Underground was like I think it might have been 80 minutes. It was really short. So you think this plot with
Earthquakes are
that
quick.
budget and it's a fun time. Instead, I'm not over exaggerating here. An hour and 20 minutes of this movie are people sitting as camera angles and loud music try to take over and distract you for the fact that they're just talking through the plot of this movie. Like, that is not, I'm not trying to like go over the top. There's about 25 minutes of things happening, fingers getting cut off and whatnot. But the majority of this movie is people going, well, this is why they did this, and this is why this is this, and the banker's this because of this, and this is why we need to do this, and then we'll do this and this. And it lulls you into a sense of like I was catatonic. I couldn't even look at the screen. I was so, everything in me just to concentrate because I didn't care. It was, and there's a couple of, and I'm not going to point them out. There's a couple of outstandingly bad actors in this thing. One of which is like makes the all-time board. And I won't say who
We
that
do
is.
have that in the office, by the way.
We have the
board,
all-time
yeah.
bad acting board. But
We also have the all-time good acting board.
oh, no, it's a both and. But there is an actor in this thing that every line they say is just hysterical. So that was the only thing I was looking forward to all movie long. This is a disaster, and it was really long and really boring. I hated it.
I'm also not entirely convinced the Hustlers did take all.
They didn't. They took one cash box.
They took one cash box.
Hustlers did not take all. They took some.
Some took all.
Some gave all gave some.
And then it's time for all the feels. We're talking about what in this movie gave us those feels. Brian.
That's 2 times that's happened. Is that twice in 2 weeks, I believe?
Twice in
We
2
are on a roll.
Twice in 2
Rippy, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a no-looking jackwagon.
Yeah, he sure. Though there are worse people to be thought of than Ryan. I mean, that guy-
It's like spreading the wealth. I've done it to him.
you sure have.
Yeah,
you
you're right.
called him
He
Patrick
does,
too, I think.
Yes.
So and I have sleeves on, so
That's true.
it's weird. The feels for me. Sil had a pretty cool old car. I think it was a Mustang. It looked like it was pretty fun to drive. Nice looking car.
I thought about
Cool.
snakeskin boots for a while.
Oh, you have.
No, just today when I was watching the movie. When she gets out and it's like, hey, there's the snakeskin boots. I don't like snakes at all.
Yeah.
Like, and
You think wearing snakeskin boots would maybe make you invincible?
Make
to
you
snakes?
feel like a bigger person.
the opposite.
Oh.
I think I would be squirmy all day long. That's what I was thinking about.
Squirming
Like,
all day long.
do I?
boots come alive.
Like what?
Yeah, there it is.
That's exactly right.
They start to tighten.
What if something
These boots getting
happens?
tight?
Those boots aren't made for walking. They're made for killing. What
There's some
if?
poison in those skins?
Oh
snake skins.
yes,
Dude, I don't think I could do it. One, I don't think it's like right.
of course.
You know, now is when you're going to side with the animal rights folks on this.
When have I not?
You eat all kinds of meat, right?
Yeah, but that's different.
Okay.
I'm not wearing
Got
it. I'm eating it.
Got it.
Got
it.
It's not like for sport. I don't
It's
kill
not
them.
right to kill snakes for boots.
That's right.
Can I get the 6-piece tender?
That's right. Yes,
extra
you get
Zax
it.
sauce.
I don't get Zax sauce, and you know that.
Double tenders.
I
please.
just think it's. I think I would be so uncomfortable, and there would be a thought in the back of my mind: what if they're not dead?
Yeah.
Like, what if?
What if the snakes
What if
aren't
there's
dead?
a snake nearby that sees it and it pisses him off? What? Like, all of these thoughts will be running through my head constantly.
Man, talk
About
about
the
a
snakes.
torturous movie. A movie where every animal in a house like comes like a bear rug comes
Oh,
alive.
man.
A moose jumps off the wall. Whew.
A torture movie is just you putting me in those boots and just watching me try to live. I'd be going crazy. I'd be going crazy. Dan?
Yeah, my feels was also our night at the casino, brand.
Oh man.
We were in Reno. We
You
had a
guys got
job
a
to do.
problem.
We did it. Then we went to a movie. We went to what I believe was a Wednesday afternoon movie.
This was way late, early
Yeah,
evening.
early
I think, yeah.
evening. And then we proceeded to walk 2 blocks from the theater into a casino and have the time of our lives. It was really, it was one of one from a casino experience. It was fantastic. It was just a great time. And like, that's the kind of thing that gets you back in the casino. Is
right.
what it does.
That's
But
right.
what a time it was.
It was a great time.
Yeah. Like,
Great.
I've never been a casino on vacation person ever, and I'm still not. But if Brand and I were to go for a weekend and we just had like themed outfit nights every night, I think it would be a riot.
I do think there's something to be said of a guy's weekend where you go in knowing, okay, we can lose this
That's
amount
right.
of money and we'll also dress
that's-
silly.
But
Put on
that's
your
my
rattleskin
thing is
boots.
like, if I've gone on golf trips and it's like you spend all this money on golf trips and you're paying for all your food and drinks.
The only
if you do
difference, though, is-
casino, you pretty much just pay for losing the money. That's what you pay. Like, you don't pay for the drinks, and a lot of places the food
That's
gets
true.
comped.
The drinks is crazy. I can't believe they
Yeah.
just. But Dan,
I
the
can.
interesting thing about the golf, though is that a good day on the golf course is better
Yes.
than
Then a bad day. I've
anywhere.
heard that. Bad
in
day
the
anywhere
casino.
else.
So it's
Good
kind
day
of a
is
wash.
casino, yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on
Take
the
the
Hallmark.
Hallmark.
Like occasionally, I'll just look under places and make sure there's
Just
not a
double
snake.
check. Yeah,
Because snakes get inside.
they sure do.
They get
We've
inside.
had snakes in our yard before. You've had a snake in your
Yeah,
yard
I
before.
don't mess with that.
My wife
And
goes
every-
out there
every-
and picks them up.
Oh man.
If I need to go to the restroom in the middle of the night,
Oh my
I
God.
bring my phone and trying to fly because I don't want to wake. I
Snake
don't want to
detector?
turn on the light. I just want to make sure that there's not a snake in the toilet because that's a thing,
Dude. Yep. That's a scary one there.
right?
Yeah.
So Snakes on a Plane, the movie, that's your absolute nightmare.
100%. I haven't seen that movie.
Neither have I.
It's a ridiculous movie.
Should we watch that for next week or next
Dude,
month?
Snakes on a Plane?
That's been on TV, right?
I'd love to do that.
It's been on TV.
been
Is
on
that the
TV.
rule?
I think it has to touch TV.
So everything that's not in theaters is pretty much.
If it's touch TV, then it's
What we
in our
could do
hearts.
is we could pick a crazy movie that's available on Philo. and have that.
That's true. We can do that. That'd be cool.
Follow deep dive.
But
extended
episode.
edition.
Deep dive, long dive.
Deep dive, long
Deep
dive.
and long.
Deep and long dive.
Deep and wide.
It's time for Wait What? It's where we talk about what in this movie and just go, wait, what? Brian.
Yeah. The what do people expect to happen when they owe money? I'm kind of like over this thing. Like,
Let's go live to Dave Ramsey's associate Brian Harold
what do you
as he talks through why det's a bad thing.
when you owe
So how
somebody
much do you
money
owe?
and they've warned you
How old are you?
they're gonna hurt you if you don't pay them, and
What's
you
the
don't
interest rate on that?
pay them? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Are you on the side of the leg breaker and the
just-
finger cutter?
I'm not on the
You're
side of the
basically like,
whiner.
well, they said they were going to do it. You should have paid them.
You should have
People
paid 'em.
sometimes don't have money, Brian.
Then you shouldn't gamble or borrow the money.
Sometimes people get desperate because life isn't
Right.
fair.
And then they have to pay the consequence.
No,
You have to get your finger
Brian.
cut off.
Brian, that's not.
If you're gambling and this guy says, I'm going to cut your finger
Brian
off,
is coming down on the side
if
of
you don't pay me,
of the mob here.
I'm going to break your bones. And you say, deal, give me the money. And then you don't pay back. You shouldn't whine when they come to break your bones. You got to deal with the broken bone.
I don't know. This is something I'm trying to teach my 8-year-old, but I guess I can teach the 42-year-old as well. You're responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you're treated, you can't take someone's finger even if they don't pay you back. That's a crime.
Sure. No. I agree that is definitely a crime. But also, you can't be whining as much about any consequence. They could come and yell at you, and
With the
it's still
It's
there's
a
a
predatory
there's a
loan.
consequence.
This is absurd.
There's a consequence.
There's no consequences on predatory loans. You shouldn't be giving them to begin with.
No, you shouldn't.
So they should have the consequences of maybe not getting their money back.
But it was they had the
ridiculous.
money
This
to
is
begin
ridiculous.
with. Anyway,
Brian on the
it's
side
just
of Big Mafia
all this
over
whining
here.
about don't hurt me, don't hurt me. I also so I heard
That's crazy.
no.
That's crazy.
That's not crazy.
Yes, it is.
No,
You're a
if
monster.
It's the same as like a high interest thing. Like if you know, yeah, definitely gonna sign this. Yeah, I understand the interest is gonna kick in.
Brian.
100%.
Brian, no.
And it kicks in. You're like, whoa,
Brian.
why is it kicking in? Why are you kicking in?
No,
you
that's-
signed the paper.
Yeah, but the thing is, all the wealthy people get out of all their loans. Every
Brian,
PPP
yes.
loan.
you're sounding super white right
You're
now,
sounding
man.
super white and privileged
No,
and rich.
but no.
Bro, there are millions of
Yes.
dollars in PPP loans, and they all
man.
got forgiven.
Yeah.
So then students who got predatory loans for their college should also get the same benefit.
No, I'm not saying people who are being weaseled or taken advantage of. I'm saying if you're in this case, she's a gambler. She thinks she's a hustler.
Any time that you borrow money from a loan shark, you're getting weaseled.
Yes,
you are.
but you know that you're in for that. You know that you're in dark, shady
You do what
territory.
you do
Well,
you
but
gotta
also,
do.
shady
but
territory.
you
gotta go to the hospital.
there are people.
No, this was Priscilla.
Oh, my
This was
gosh.
Priscilla. This wasn't the daughter. I'm talking about
Regardless,
Priscilla.
loan sharks shouldn't be allowed to exist. Like let's
yeah,
stick to
obviously.
that.
No, you shouldn't. I don't think that they should. I don't
But
like
since
that.
they did,
Yeah, I mean, you
then
just
they
got
should
to
be able
know
to
what's
break a few
coming.
fingers,
No, you
legs.
just got to know what's coming. That's
oh
all.
my gosh!
Just watch your back. Just don't do it. That's all.
And I think it's important.
Brian
Yeah.
auditioning for the Monopoly Man over here.
Say community chest.
Say it.
So then the FBI shows up and
Let's
they
try
do-
your next one.
This is a good one.
Try your next one.
The
on for
FBI
size.
shows up and drags her out of her company for insider trading, right?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that the FBI doesn't really go after you unless they are guaranteed certain that you're guilty of something. The next line is all charges dismissed. Like
Yeah.
somebody's getting fired at the FBI. Like I don't feel like they just are willy-nilly throwing people in jail for maybe insider trading. Like it just feels like it was she just
there's a
FBI
ton of
yes.
there's a ton of investigation that goes into that.
yeah,
the FBI
a
doesn't
lot of
pull the
work.
trigger if they're not certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird. Like, just did not believe. Right off the bat, I was like, okay, this is not super believable because that's not happening. And just Nina had so many tickets when she walked out of that
6
facility.
parking tickets.
So many tickets.
That's not how that
So
works.
my thought was, because I don't know how long she was in jail before all charges dismissed. My
Yeah.
thought was maybe the car was parked there.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Because she went to a bus stop afterwards, and she went
Yep.
from bus stop to hospital, then hospital
That
to
would
car.
make a lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you, Brant. Good job.
Attaboy.
That was great, man. You're not
Way
a
to put the
wagon
pieces together.
wheel, whatever we call it.
He's a
Jackwagon.
A wagon wheel?
Jack wagon.
No looking jack wagon.
The Oh, the thing she was in too, like a hospital. It seemed like a hospital, but I feel like it should have been like a long-term facility, like a hospice or something.
Hey,
not a
Brian,
hospital.
can I ask you a quick question? If somebody's in the hospital and they can't pay, do you think they should be kicked out?
No,
if they
Because
can't
that
pay?
is a debt that they owe.
That's an insurance thing, though, right? Like that goes. It's
but
not
the way our insurance companies work, Brian. I don't know if you know this, but like you run up a lot of debt in the hospital. They should, 50% of
scam.
cancer patients, they go bankrupt. So they had it coming.
insurance is
They had it
definitely.
coming. That's what Brian would say. They had
No,
it coming.
you didn't ask to get sick or injured.
That's true. That's like
So
if
you
you
just-
got it sick or injured and had to
But
borrow
if
money
you
from a
borrow
loan
money
shark.
from somebody and they say, I'm going to break your fingers if you don't pay me, and you say, got it, and then you don't pay them, it's coming. That's
Right.
coming. You
Right.
got to know.
Yeah, you're up.
But
the
you're in the
creek here,
hospital.
buddy.
You got insurance should be dealing with that. Yeah, why is she trying to pay cash at the checkout at the facility? I don't know. And
She shouldn't have gotten sick in the first place.
shouldn't have got it back. Yeah, she shouldn't have been in that situation. No, she's doing. Priscilla does introduces hand signals for like what is it?
VIP.
Yeah, VIP, and she's doing it on her black on black gloves.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you just can't see any hand
But
signals
what's
that she's
the
got
best
going.
signal? What's the best signal?
So-
If there's danger, what we're gonna do?
Yeah,
That was what one of mine was, guys. You gotta find a more subtle sign
Yeah.
for danger. You can't be like something bad's going on. Ah! Ah! Oh, I think they're calling. I think they're calling for help.
yeah. It's a
You
weird
gotta
system.
Maybe do this for danger because no one knows what this
Yeah,
is.
nobody can even see it.
No one knows what that is. Maybe do something a little more subtle.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Bran. Pass the baton.
So, Dan, I know like this. We looked it up and it's a thing, but I just want to talk about keep it on the QT.
It isn't a thing.
I googled it and it is a thing.
Quiet.
It's short for
But
quiet.
she says keep it on the QT.
And Dan and I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
I don't know what she's talking. Keep it on the down low.
The DL.
The DL. Keep it on the QT.
Yeah, because if it's short for quiet, that literally takes the same amount of time.
Same amount of time. Keep it on the quiet,
Keep it on the quiet,
which is not
Keep
a
it-
saying.
Keep it quiet. Actually,
Keep it on the
quiet.
Keep it on the quick trip. Is what she was
Keep
saying
it on.
there.
Keep it on the quiet. Keep it on
Keep
the
it on the
QT.
Wawa.
Quiet time.
Keep it on the Wawa.
I've just
on
never
the sheets.
because at first I was like QT must stand for something like
Quick trip.
quick trip. Keep it on Spanx. Keep it on
Sure.
racetrack. What's with gas stations?
What's with buses,
Keep
huh?
it on the racetrack. I just
Keep it
now
on the
got
racetrack.
it.
So
Keep it on
yeah,
the
you need
7-Eleven,
you need
everybody.
a different sign for danger, 100%. There's a room and it's opening night and they're talking about the people that they got in this room. They got a senator, they got a rapper, they've got
Cowboy.
cowboy, they have a hitman, they have a couple of other people. And yeah, I said hitman. In the
Yes.
list of influential people that they have as VIPs on night one of them is a hitman.
And we know it.
We know it.
Everybody knows.
Which that was the ultimate in what is going on here, because it's like,
Yeah.
where would a hitman need to be most?
Maybe in a
place
room with
all
a
of these
senator,
people.
a rapper.
That's right. Yeah.
Say it's the hitman.
Oh, there's
it's
the
his
hitman.
off night.
No big deal. Whatever.
It's his
Keep it
off
moving.
night. It's his off night. This movie, once it's all coming out that she is the banker, which, by the way, could not stop thinking about Deal or No Deal. As every time they said the banker,
Every
I
time.
kept thinking it was going to pan up.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel's going to walk out. I called him. But she's explaining it, and they're like, did Luis know? And she says, Luis is an idiot. He almost found me out. Okay, is he in it? Like,
all right.
it sounds like maybe he was
Yeah,
kind of
he's
smart.
onto
He was
her,
figuring
yeah.
it out. It was literally the sentence. She just goes, Luis was an idiot. He almost found me out. Okay, it sounds like he's maybe not an idiot. Maybe he's actually he was onto something. I don't know. Dano?
Yeah. So if you borrow money from a loan shark, you got to pay that back.
what I'm saying.
I think that's the thing or you got to get your fingers broken. I think we need to establish that right now.
It's the least of your worries
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Got to get your fingers broken.
You walk away with
said-
just a broken finger. That's not even that
I mean,
bad.
come on. In all seriousness, the hospital situation here is wild.
Mm-hmm.
This mom, all right, first of all, they threaten they're going to kick her out. I'm pretty sure the Hippocratic Oath says do no harm. A little bit of a conflict of interest there. But second of all, I don't know what she has. The actress's name is Sarah Buxton. She's 59 years old, but she has selective amnesia, dementia, but then is very clearly talking to her daughter like she's going to die any day. And I just...
And then she does.
And then she does, but none of it rings like it's they never just decide on it would have made more sense if she was terminal, but then you don't have this, the hospital's going to kick her out. And so instead they just are like, imagine all the bad things that happen typically when you get really old. Let's do all of that to one woman in her 50s, and then she just dies one day. So that was a move. This movie also stretches the idea, and you've seen it 100 times if you watch the movies, any sort of con artist movie or like movie with a big heist, you see somebody freeze frame and then they show their name, like, you know, Brian Harold, and under it to be like the capitalist, like something like that, right? And then they do that. And in this movie, they do this for like the first 20 minutes and you think it's done. It's not done. They keep doing it. But what happens is somewhere about halfway through this movie when they introduce people, I guess they just ran out of names because they stopped giving you the name. Like for the first 30 minutes, you're introduced to a dozen people where it's like such and such, the fixer, the stooge, the blah, blah, blah. And
they give their name ahead of it. So it's like,
name is
you
like
know,
Brandon
Nina,
Gray, the stooge. And then halfway through, I'm sorry, Brandon Gray, the no-looking jackwagon.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, you introduce people.
the mean
fan. And it just says the cowboy. It doesn't say anything else. It doesn't say
name.
It doesn't say their name. And it's at that point that you realize this movie doesn't know what it is. It's that introduction means nothing. And then they do one, it's like, some of these people, you don't know what they're like. This dude comes up and he's working and his name comes up and then it says the stooge. It's like, okay, valuable information. I'm going to bank that for later. Bank it. Then sometimes there's a woman and she's behind the bar pouring drinks and it's like such and such, the barkeep. Yeah, we got that. We figured that much out just by watching the movie. And I think they're out of control with it. They don't know what else to do.
It's too many.
And they're out of control.
Way too many.
And too long.
I've never disposed of a dead body before, but I have watched my fair share of Dexter, and what I can tell you is these women, they kill this guy and they decide to wrap him in clear plastic where you can see blood everywhere, and then prop him up vertically on a hand truck and wheel him out in the middle of the daytime.
Yeah.
That's a move.
Yeah, the daytime body drop.
The daytime clear wrap, vertical hand truck. Like, dude, if you just get some, like, maybe some black trash bags and put that thing horizontal and maybe not in the middle of the day, maybe you could dispose of that body a little bit easier. But you are rolling out what is clearly a bloodied dead body vertically on a hand truck like you're trying to Weekend at Bernie's that mother. And I don't understand why you're doing it. And then lastly,
I just want to make this clear, we've never disposed of that body.
We've never
collectively,
correct,
none of us,
or by
individually,
no, yeah, exactly. And lastly, there's a scene where a woman comes up and hits a dude in the back of the head with a glass bottle. In this movie, she hits the guy. They make a bottle crashing sound, and the bottle is still completely intact. So we hustlers take Dald.
Nice. Yep, took Dald.
Oh my gosh! I just read a comment about a snake.
On the car? Get out of here.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's what we wonder. Could have been maybe some kind of
Oh, look at this snake we found in our yard. See, look. There you go.
That's a little baby thing.
Baby snake.
Does it to you? Yeah.
Well, it's baby snake, which means there's grown-up snakes.
I know what
we
that.
don't have to.
That was.
He's rubbing his legs.
That was,
what do you got? What's going on? What are you wondering about?
I'm wondering like where they are in.
It was right on our fence line too.
Oh, you throw it over the fence? Is that what you do with your snakes? You throw them in Brand's yard?
Like a pizza pie. Just throw them right over.
You should dig out a little tunnel for all the snakes to go right over.
That's right, and just put a little thing that says snakes.
Snake crossing.
Well, the thing is, like
Yeah.
snakes, like they're notoriously they don't know where the line is.
They don't. You're right.
So you have to get them over to my yard or they won't cross.
That's right.
I don't know where they were. Do you know where they were in this movie?
No, they filmed it in L.A.
Okay. Like I couldn't tell where they were. I would have liked to known. And also, they raised $20,000 for renovations and didn't renovate much.
No,
like the money was just like they did nothing. It was never mentioned again.
Yeah.
So
then they needed $20,000 to get that guy in the poker game to win $400. But I assume that was just they took some winnings that they were making at the casino, or some losings. I don't know.
Something like that. Losses? So it was losings probably.
Yeah, losings is what I would say.
So the money thing, it just was all over the place. But yeah, really, I was just like, where even are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one question I had is just how they get away with it at the end. Like the FBI's coming in and they're getting everybody for everything.
Except, yeah.
And if Nina, if she called the FBI and said, "Hey, I will give you information in exchange for immunity," that's fine. That happens all the time. You know who didn't do that? Priscilla.
That's right.
You know who owed a ton of money? Priscilla. Priscilla didn't know that the FBI was coming. She was left in the dark about this whole thing.
Yeah.
So she should have 100% been arrested, right? With the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. Hey, I'll give you this, but also like leave Priscilla alone and also all of my friends for the rest of life. Like, man, that's
Immunity
crazy.
for lifetime.
Immunity for lifetime. Dano?
I just, what the hallmark is, there's a better movie here. Like this whole plot, it doesn't not work. But we got an hour of talking, and I feel like I would have loved to have seen, an 80-minute version of this where we get to more of the actual action instead of just establishing and stylizing everything to death. And I feel like, I just feel like there's a better edit of this movie. I don't really have another one. So there you have it.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.